Hello y'all, I am back again with another video, and I am also back on this exercise bike, y'all. So I am going to be interested myself to hear what I am going to say on this video. This video is going to be a very emotional one. It's going to be involving life lessons that you can learn from. And the Lord is showing me in so many ways why things had to be the way that they were. And why sometimes no contact, physical no contact, staying out of their physical presence. Physical, y'all. Can't nobody kill you over the phone. Can't nobody stab you over the phone. Can't nobody shoot you over the phone. Your own daughter can't murder you and then chainsaw you up and barbecue you like you a piece of meat, unless you are in the physical presence of that psychopathic daughter. So the Lord is working with me, because you know, as empaths, you always have that guilt. I should have did it this way. I could have did it this way. But the Lord had it done the way it was supposed to be done, in the protection of you, not that psychopath. So here we go. Let's go over the elements of this topic so that you do not fear no contact and end up on a barbecue grill, in a ditch, anywhere. Okay? So I have a playlist called World News. And so I was watching a video about the mom that got murdered. She's also a grandmother and a mom. So her own daughter and granddaughter, and I'm assuming that these are her biological relatives. I have not heard anything else saying that they are not her biological relatives. So I was wondering what happened. What was the dispute? What led her daughter to murder her own mother that was, I think, about 71 years old? What was the argument about? The last argument. I want to say the last argument. Keep this in mind. Y'all, when you hear these cases, I promise you this. This was not the first incident. I'm going to tell you how I know. For one, life experience. Two, it was over credit card fraud. I was told by a friend it was over a welfare check. Okay, come to find out, maybe there was some misunderstanding. They did a welfare check, but what the actual disagreement was over the 71-year-old lady's daughter using her credit card. So it was over credit card fraud. So she had charged up some stuff. I'm not sure about the amount. I don't remember that. She had charged up a bunch of stuff on her 71-year-old mom's credit card, and there was a dispute over that, and it led to the 71-year-old mom being murdered and chainsawed up, being cooked, part of her being cooked on a barbecue grill. I mean, her body was done so bad, they did not initially know the cause of death. I don't know if they figured that out or if they were able to figure it out due to the mutilation of the lady's body. So the Lord is working with me, because as you go through a grieving process over relatives and things like that, there's a lot that goes into it. Okay, so I'm going to first point this out. When you have empathy, if you are in a no contact and you are in a situation where there's an estranged relative, so either they did the final discard of you or you did it of them, or you caused them to do the discard because you stopped giving them something that they wanted. You got to remember in these situations, when this daughter murdered her mom and mutilated her and cooked her, she didn't mutilate her and go bury her somewhere or just bury her. I mean, she had no soul for her own mom's body. Okay, this could even just say if this lady was not her biological mom, just the fact that you called this woman mom is enough to not do this cruel act to her mom. But like I said, as far as I know, this is her biological mom. So, as empathic people, when you have an estranged relative, you're in no contact, whether it be by choice or they discard or whatever. However, you remained in physical no contact. See, this is the thing. If there's a psychopath or a narcissist and you don't go around them, okay, whether they live in the same state or they live out of town, you are in physical no contact, even if you choose to talk to them over the phone. So a lot of times, you can talk to the psychopath or narcissist or sociopath for many years over the phone. However, they can't kill you over the phone. They can't mutilate you and chop you up and cook you on a barbecue grill over the phone. It needs to be some in-person physical contact. And a lot of them ain't gonna stalk you to kill you. You know, you got to keep this in mind. Psychopaths are nuts. So I promise you this. This psychopath that murdered her mom in the way that she did by mutilating her, chopping her up, sewing her up, and putting her on a grill, she didn't plan that. Now, the hatred has always been in her soul for her mom. And I know that for sure because the way she did her dead body is not just the fact that she killed her. People flip out all the time. They kill their own sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. They murder their own parents. People are murdered in a lot of different ways. However, the second piece of what they do with your body shows how the psychopath really felt about you. And in this case, the dynamics is female. Okay, they're all women. Okay, the daughter that murdered her 71-year-old mom in this gruesome way, and the granddaughter that helped her mom do this to her grandmother's body. So both of them did not like their mom and grandmother, not in the real sense of the word. That mom and granddaughter, they did not have the ability to love this 71-year-old lady. Now, you may think this is crazy, but I'm going to say this. What about this? When that daughter was about 17 or 18 years old, because there was red flags even back then, and I mean red flags of violence. That is not the first time that they got violent with that woman. However, I feel in my heart that 71-year-old lady was kind-natured, had that old school mentality, you got to keep the family together, and basically she stayed a supply source. But what if when her daughter was about 17 or 18 years old, when she first showed threatening behaviors towards her mom, because she did, it just had to have happened that way. There was threatening behaviors before. I done went down this road, y'all. They ain't just chopping you up and killing you. Yeah, it may seem instant and it seems sudden because that's how the media portrays it, but there's a lot of secrets in families that the media don't always know about. When I called the police on my own relative, you think I told the police every little thing about him or her? No. The police may know a certain percentage of it, but they don't know everything. Now, in this case, there was a lot of covering up. That's why the media makes it seem so sudden. So, what about this? If she had done this when she was about 17 or 18 years old, went physical no contact with her, just kind of talked to her over the phone or whatever, and the daughter died, okay, and she didn't see her again until she went to her funeral, okay? Picture the scenario. Now, when you are dealing with a psychopathic daughter or a daughter that has psychopathic traits, they will kill you. Look at what the twin girls did to their mom, Taz and Jazz. Psychopathic daughters, I'm not talking about sons, psychopathic daughters will kill their mothers. It's not a planned thing, it's a hate thing. It's the anger and animosity and the disrespect that comes from within their souls that also goes along with the unspiritual, ungodly traits that the psychopath daughter has. So the psychopathic daughter, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. If she had had a son, this woman that was 71 years old approximately, if she had had a son, just a normal psychopathic son, even if he had murdered her, this is just my opinion, y'all, most likely he wouldn't have murdered her in such a gruesome way that the daughter did. There's a special hate that a psychopathic daughter has for their mom. They hate that woman. Basically, if you want to word it in the way that the psychopath daughter thinks, she hates that bitch. And I'm not calling the lady a bitch. I'm saying how the psychopathic daughter thinks. Okay, so a woman did this. When her daughter was about 14, she sent her with her dad. Then, when the daughter was about 17, almost 18, she came back to visit her mother. The daughter was physically threatening her mom. The mom sent her back to the father. He didn't even want to take her back. But the daughter had physically threatened her mom. She sent her back to her father and never saw her again in person until she went to her funeral. The mom went to the daughter's funeral. Listen to me very carefully. Okay, the mother is still alive, but the daughter has passed on. This particular daughter had psychopathic traits. Okay, so this is what the Lord is doing for me on this channel, showing me things and making me understand that sometimes the way we do things is not the wrong way. The Lord knows What else can happen to you when you have a daughter that really despises you? Remember, they don't plan it, they have psychopathy. So, and a lot of people will judge it. However, if the Lord meant it for you to be alive, see, a lot of people can't feel intuition. Those years go by so fast. If you go no contact with the psychopathic daughter, or for men, maybe it's a psychopathic son, and all those years go by so fast, somebody got to die first. And the bad luck that's on the psychopathic daughter or son that is threatening their mother or father. In this particular case, I want to keep the same gender. I want to make it like it's a psychopathic daughter threatening the mom, not the psychopathic mom, a psychopathic daughter that's threatening the mom that does have some level of empathy. And then if you want to adjust it over for men so you can imagine your situation, a psychopathic son threatening their dad that has empathy. And so, because no contact was not done with this poor 71, and when I say poor, I don't mean financially poor. She had a really cute house. She was retired, looked like she had a little money. She had credit cards, so she had a credit score, obviously. Really nice, cute brick home. Clean, 71-year-old lady. To me, she actually didn't look her age. She looked like she could have easily been 25 years younger than her age, y'all. That lady looked good for her age. To be 71 years old, she looked very good. It looked like she took care of herself. And she did. She took care of herself to the best of her ability. Could she ever imagine that her own daughter would do this to her? No, absolutely. She couldn't imagine it. Had she been warned? Yes, she had been warned. I don't care if it was somebody at a church she went to. There was a warning because, for one, when she wasn't answering her phone or her door, whichever way it happened, someone called in for them to do a welfare check on her to make sure that she's safe. A welfare check is checking on your safety. So there was red flags right there because somebody had to go looking for her. They sent the police over there. And when the police got there, they could smell the decomposition of the body in the house. Or is it decompensation? Let me look this up because I don't want to be ignorant, y'all. I want to know the decomposition or decompensation. Let me see the correct way to word this. Okay, decomposition. Okay, so not decompensation. So that was the wrong way. Because decomposition is the state or process of rotting decay, is what that is. Whether it be a body, it's just rotting decay. So in this case, it was the decomposition of a body. You can have decomposition of a lot of different things, and it doesn't just have to be a body. To check outside. The squirrel knock. The squirrel knock, son. Mm-hmm. I'm doing the video. Okay, y'all, I am not gonna lie. I just put this video on pause. And not to change the subject, but I guess the squirrels in the neighborhood like my videos because I thought I heard this like gentle knock at the door. And I could tell it was not at the top part of the door where the peek hole was at. So when I heard this gentle knock, I put the video on pause. And so I went to the door, looked out the peek hole first. Guess who's going around the corner from my door? A squirrel, y'all. So I guess the squirrel like, hey, let me in. I want to hear the video. So I guess the squirrels in the neighborhood like my video, y'all. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, the squirrel hit the door loud enough where it sounded like a knock, y'all. So it was just meant for me to do this video. That's a sign that I'm supposed to be doing this video. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, this mom did this. I mean, well, she's a mom. So the daughter did this to her mom. And then that mom that killed her mom, her daughter helped her dispose, mutilate, chainsaw up her grandmother. So basically this mom and granddaughter, this daughter and granddaughter did this together, if that makes sense. So you got the mom that got killed, that's 71 years old, her daughter, and then the 71-year-old lady's granddaughter. And this ain't a black or white thing. I'm going to do a video on the Ohio dad, what you would call a white man. I hate using those. I dislike using these terms, white people, black people. But what we call in the United States, white and black people, Americans, okay, is what we are. So the Ohio dad that murdered his 3 little boys, just shot them down and killed them right in front of the front yard. So it's not a race thing. These people are just cruel, okay? They're doing any and everything. So it's not like, okay, well, I want to exploit the black race and make the white race look good. It's just whomever is doing the crazy stuff, they all crazy. They all killers. They all not family oriented. They all have psychopathy. They all don't love these people at the end of the day. So going back to what I was saying, a woman basically discarded or stayed in physical no contact with her own daughter and did not see her again, in person see her until she went to her funeral service to just show respect. I mean, when somebody don't attend your funeral, y'all, and they can attend your funeral, that's another kind of hate, right? It's just a different kind of hate, and it's based on your heart. If you ever love that person, it's not about what the psychopath or the narcissistic person that's in the casket feels. It's about how you feel. Did you ever love that person? So a lot of times, even if there is no contact while they're still alive, you will attend their funeral, especially if it's an immediate relative, even just a cousin. Okay, if you love your cousin and you could go to the funeral and you have the money to go if you feel up to going. I know a situation where there was some chaos at this one particular funeral and the mom did not go to her adult daughter funeral. because the mom had illnesses and she had been to prison and she didn't want it to pop off at the funeral because it was some disputes and chaos and some beef going on. And she didn't want to have nothing to do with it. So a lot of people and a lot of women will go no contact with these psychopathic daughters and live. And a lot of times in these cases, and it happens more than you think, y'all, a lot of times a mom has not seen her daughter in 10, 15, 20 years sometimes because she was in physical no contact with this daughter that had already showed threatening signs of physically threatening her own mom. A daughter that physically threatens their own mom at any point is capable of doing what the daughter did to her 71-year-old mom, which is murder her in a dispute. She already showed she don't love her mom because she robbed her own mother. So see, that's the first sign. But that's not the first thing that that woman has did to her mom. I'm telling you, it started when she was a teenager. It started there, even if it was late in her teens. It doesn't always happen early in her teens. It was not a happy situation. It was a situation where that 71-year-old mom was tolerating them. She was a supply source. She had the love. They didn't. And how do I know this for sure, even though I don't personally know these people? How I know the 71-year-old lady actually had the love for not just her daughter that brutally murdered her and her granddaughter that covered it up for her mama. How I know she had the love is because they didn't end up murdered, mutilated, chainsawed up, and cooked on a barbecue grill. The 71-year-old lady never did that to them. She never did that to her daughter and granddaughter like they did to her. So see, that's facts. You don't have to know somebody personally to say who's the better person in that type of situation. Obviously, it's the 71-year-old woman. Also, another thing, the 71-year-old woman, she wasn't the one robbing her daughter. Her daughter was robbing her credit card. Now, what triggered the dispute was she told her daughter she was going to call the police. However, in a case like that, that's not the first time she's threatened that. I think it's a case where she's threatened to call the police on her before. This is my suspicion, y'all. Normally, I'm right about these things. Normally, I'm pretty good with this. I suspect that she threatened to call the police on her before. However, the other times she didn't pursue the case, but she threatened it. But that daughter knew this time her mom would actually pursue the case. That's why she got rid of her. That's why she snapped in the way that she did. She's like, okay, mom is really going to report me. Credit card fraud is a federal offense in most states. And I'm going to go to the federal penitentiary. I don't know what kind of record the daughter already had, if she had any at all. She may not have had a record at all because her mom made threats to call the police, but never pursued it. So this is a situation because the mom, the 71-year-old lady, that this beautiful lady that got tortured in this way, this is a case where she should have went no contact with her psychopathic daughter because the signs were there. It's going to come out. Somebody's going to do some more videos, and if it leaks out, when it leaks out, I will do another video and I will post the updated video on the history of that case if somebody is willing to expose it. And I will put that video in my playlist. Maybe under world news, I might create a separate playlist just for this situation because there's so many videos that come out with different ways of explaining things on each case. And I mean, these people are just going crazy. But the Lord is really working with me because the hardest thing for an empathic person is to be in no contact physically. You're talking to the person, you at least giving them that. You sending them money, but you stay out of their presence. And that prevents two things from them killing you and you killing them. Nobody gets killed because you're not around them. And then, even if that relative dies or passes away, their psychopathic father could be threatening the mom. I'm talking about in this other case where the woman went no contact with her daughter and then didn't see her again until she went to her funeral. Okay, and then you see years later, well, even the psychopathic father is threatening her mom. And so you learn in a case like this, I have to learn, wow, they both could have killed me. I mean, that's how a woman would think, right? Like, I could have got killed by both of these nuts. So the Lord doesn't want that. The Lord, when you're a praying woman or man, the Lord sees it fit that you be under the Lord's protection. And the reason, if you are willing to follow your intuition and make that bold move, you will be under the Lord's protection because you are not the psychopath. However, if you don't listen to the Lord's intuition and you're not praying enough, you will unfortunately fall in the hands of the psychopath and be around the psychopath when they completely go off into a full blast psychotic mode on you, and you end up mutilated, chainsawed up, killed, and you out there to be barbecued. This beautiful lady is on a barbecue grill. But this was preventable, y'all. It just was. Because her daughter, I can't say the granddaughter got violent, because the granddaughter didn't do the murder. She just helped her dumbass mom cover it up. See, I wouldn't have helped my mama chainsaw up and barbecue my grandmama. I just wouldn't have done no sick shit like that. But this is 2023. These people are liable to do anything. So what the Lord will show you and other men over time, when you see these cases, don't feel guilty about the no contact. Because when you attend that psychopath's or that narcissistic person's funeral, whether they be a daughter or son, granddaughter or grandson, you got to envision that being you in the casket. Because even the psychopath don't know that they're going to kill you. The psychopathic father that acts just like the daughter that's threatening his baby mama or ex-wife, even when he's threatening the baby mama, he think he got control of himself. He don't picture himself being drunk and on his marijuana or whatever other drug he could be taking, and he shoot his baby mama in the neck because they get into a dispute over some grandkids. He don't see that coming. That is why you stay the hell away from these damn people. You stay the fuck away from them. And I'm sorry to use the profanity. Don't you regret. You got to stop regretting, and I got to tell myself this. Any situation that I was in where I was in a no contact with these sickos, No matter what relative it is, if they ever got violent with me and I got them out of my living space and I pretty much remained in a no contact when it comes to a physical sense, it was in my best interest. And a lot of times we do another form of physical no contact where you're never around them alone. You only meet with them at public places. Things like that. You put some kind of physical barrier or boundary up so that you're not killed or harmed. So, as I go through my own grieving process with my own relatives, I'm giving you these examples so you'll understand different ways this can go. But there's nobody that's more dangerous, listen to me very carefully, than a psychopathic daughter that hate her mama or a psychopathic son that hate his daddy. In my opinion, those are the two most dangerous situations. And the third most dangerous situation is a psychopath that hates kids in general, his own kids, the neighbors' kids, the cousins in the family, the nephews, the nieces, like the Ohio dad that just killed those 3 adorable little boys. And so you see the dynamics. There's no color in all of this. There's no specific race. You can't look at a case now. You know, Black people used to say back in the day, when you seen some old crazy stuff and somebody harmed their mother or father or their grandparents, back in the day, you know, we just knew it would be a white family. Back in the Midwest and the South. You can't say that no more. One sister was telling me her daughter even told her that. You know, Mom, you don't know what race they are no more. And that's true. But check this out. Black people got the impression that only white people did that. Those insane cases where some parents got killed, Black people had the impression from the news media that only white families did that crazy mess. But check this out. What if Black people were doing it all along, but the cases weren't being covered in the media? Does that make sense? Say Black people was always killing their parents more often than we could ever think, but the cases weren't covered. So what happened was when those cases aren't being covered, it doesn't allow for an intervention. So therefore, when there's no intervention, guess what? There's no stopping of the abuse. It just keeps going on, if that makes sense. There's no stopping. It just continues and continues until more and more cases come. And then they decide, okay, well, we're going to start covering the cases late in the game. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if Black people were doing it way back then, killing their mothers and fathers and things like that, but I don't trust the media. The media has been the most dangerous and exploitative television in the world. Always has been. You can't trust the media. But we do know this. The media is doing the right thing now. They're covering all the cases, no matter what race you are. They're showing Black, white, Spanish, Asian, Hawaiian, Europeans, Africans. They're showing you all what these psychopaths are capable of. Go no contact, y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't care about their age. 17, 18 and up, get them out of your life so that you don't end up on a barbecue grill or shot down in a front yard or buried in a ditch somewhere where nobody ever finds you because you stayed in communication with the psychopath. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.